202 U.S. Highway 90 East in Castroville. Sports for Supper, a weekly look at what's happening in area sports. And now, along with Maury Stein, Dwayne Garza, and Jeff Stivers, here's the host of Sports for Supper, Jared Lucky.
Good evening and welcome to Sammy's Restaurant. We're live here for Sports for Supper. I'm Jared Lucky, along here with Maury Stein and Dwayne Garza. Jeff is not going to be able to join us here this evening for the show, but three of us will have it for you here. We're going to have the football team on here, some of the players. I think Coach Crisp is going to be here in a little while, and then we have girls basketball going to be on this evening.
With Coach Russell.
Yep. And guys, week coming off, Medina Valley getting their first district win over Kennedy, 63-7. And I know that Dwayne and Jeff did the girls volleyball game last night against Harlan.
We did the game last night. I'm actually still a little hoarse. It was one of those games where it got exciting.
Oh, it was very exciting. You know, the girls gave it their best. It's just one of those sets or one of those matches where, you know, every game was competitive. It's just one or two mistakes one way or the other, and
that's exactly what happened. They played,
but go over the standings of the volleyball to win and tell them how they stand right as of now. And they did clinch a playoff spot last night, even with a loss. Correct?
They clinched the playoff spot with a loss. Southside lost, and that was the key to determining what four teams are going to make the playoffs. So right now the playoff hunt looks like Harlan in first place, Medina Valley holding on to the second place, Somerset in third, and Floresville in fourth place. Medina Valley holding a 10-2 record in district play. Their two losses, Bill Morey, has only been to Harlan. So prior to that Harlan game last night, they had won 7 in a row. But now, of course, that goes all the way back to their first loss, which was against Harlan. So that's their two district losses are against Harlan. Harlan got a very good team. You know, we learned that last night. You've got to play your best game against teams like that. And we had some mistakes, especially in the first set. Came out a little flat-footed. And Harlan takes advantage of it. So, kudos to Harlan for coming out and playing well. However, the Panthers did play well. And they've got a few games still left. They've got games against Eagle Pass this coming Friday, followed by Somerset and Floresville, and then Southside. And then they can start looking forward to the playoffs. But they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games that they got upcoming that they've got to play. And they'll be fine.
Around the other athletics for the week, do you have how the tennis and those teams did? We can do that before we get to Coach Crisp.
We can do the other updates right now. Tennis finished their season. They ended up 4th in district. They started out last week. They had a tough loss against Uvalde, but then they came back strong against Eagle Pass, winning that 16-1. Overall, they were 4-3 in district play. Which Garrett got them 4th place, so they moved on to bi-district play. They took on Alamo Heights Monday. Alamo Heights, though, is the defending state champs. So it was a tough contest. They did fall to Alamo Heights. 16. No, I'm not sure what the score was, but they did fall to Alamo Heights. A note here that Ali Shearhart and Tyler Obenhauser won their mixed doubles. I think that was the only win they had against Alamo Heights. But they're going to take a week off. They're going to regroup and start getting ready for spring practice. That's just right around the corner already.
No rest for the weary.
No. So congratulations to the tennis team for the fall schedule. Did a great job. Made the playoffs again. Got into bi-district. Swim team update. Swim team participated in the Palo Alto Pentathlon on October 12th. They came out 5th overall. The women took 6th place and the men took 4th. Junior Colton Holland scored 56 of the team's 69 points and set a new 50-meter freestyle record. So congratulations to them and to Colton for that accomplishment. Next meet for them is an invitational on October 26th at Northside. So swim team starting out really good.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of things going on. We talked about it all year. A lot of Medina Valley sports things, getting in their swim team now. Right. That was the new thing last year. And, a lot of things going on around the athletic.
I don't have a
department's forming.
cross-country update, but maybe we can get one with this gentleman stepping up to the plate here.
Yeah, and let's take a break real quick and recognize some of the sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll have Coach Crisp on here. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network. Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Medina Electric Cooperative is sending 3 students on the trip of a lifetime for free. The 2020 Government in Action Youth Tour is an all-expenses-paid week-long learning and leadership event in June that starts in Austin and then takes kids to Washington, D.C. Winners also receive a $500 scholarship for college. The deadline is December 13th, 2019. Apply online at Medina.
You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sammy's. We're live here at Sports for Supper, brought to you by Brenda Stein Photography. And Brenda Stein is a photographer in Castroville who specializes in graduate, family, and sports photography. With her quality customer service and expertise in capturing the beauty you see in your graduate and family, you'll walk away with an experience to remember. She can even customize a graduation card to celebrate your graduate. Call 210-415-9873 or visit www.brendasteinphotos.com to schedule a graduate or family session today. As always, thanks to Brenda Stein for sponsoring the show here. Thanks to Sammy's Restaurant for letting us do the show here, and all the sponsors
Absolutely.
who always have stayed with us here to make it possible to bring you all these broadcasts. And we've got Coach Crisp on here.
Real quick, Jared,
yeah, go
we
ahead.
do have a cross-country update.
Okay.
Coach Crisp just gave us some info. The district meet is tomorrow, and Medina Valley is hosting it. So first thing in the morning, they'll be running, and hopefully the course will dry up after the nice rain we had yesterday and this morning. So cross-country meet tomorrow, Medina Valley hosting the district meet.
Good.
Awesome. Coach, thanks for joining us here again.
Glad to be here.
Congratulations on the win last week.
Yeah, it was-
Good game and good way to you got that boulder over the top like you talked about.
Yeah, that was it was nice. We came out and we just kind of executed, did exactly what we wanted to do, and kept it simple. And it's nice when you go out there and we scored on every possession we had, and that's always our goal. But it's one of those lofty goals that you set. And defense held strong, and with the exception of the last kick return, it was one of those deals, and you don't feel so bad. They got some points on the board, but it is what it is.
Looking ahead to Uvalde this week, going there into the Honey Bowl, and Maury and I call it the Twilight Zone because it's kind of one of those places where you never know what's going to happen when you go there. But what is Uvalde gonna show? What are they going to do offensively, defensively? What are some of the things that they like to do?
Offensively, they have some. Their quarterback's not bad. They got a wide receiver. I think he's number 81. Fast. They have kids that can. They're running back. The guy can carry the ball. Hard runner. They're not unlike us, but defensively, they're going to show us another kind of version of the 3-3 stack. And we've seen it once already. These odd fronts that we're facing, and we're kind of figuring it out. The first 4 games we played, we were facing an even front where they have 4 down linemen, and then we switched to that odd front, and it took us a minute to kind of get things going. But they're going to be more athletic than what we saw last week. But I think we ought to be able to take care of business.
And we were talking before the game and at halftime about the 3-3 alignment that you
Kennedy.
saw last week. And I was kind of asking Jeff, does that 3-3, does that mean that you're weak at defensive linemen, that you're trying to cover up something? And he said no, that a lot of teams have ran that forever, and that's the first time I've ever seen that formation on defense.
It's a deal. We may see it again next week versus, or a version of it. Memorial kind of has a look that looks kind of like that as well. But it's a way to kind of to keep the offense guessing. If it's a gap control scheme, but they're going to do different things. It looks like different things at different times, and they're able to put guys in coverage if they need to, and they're able to add guys to the box if they need to. And so it's a flexible system. It's not very, it's not real rigid. Like a 3-4 is a lot like the old 50 we used to run with the outside backers, more of a kind of a coverage kind of guy, and very strict gap control. With a 3-3 stack, that you play some games, there's a little bit more stunting involved and that kind of thing. So that make you guess a little bit. It's a little bit more high risk, but
for the first time seeing that, it looked like the offensive line was having their way with the defensive line, and with the wide gaps, it looked like the play calling knew exactly where the stunts were coming from and where they weren't coming from.
I wish I could say that that was the case. Sometimes I'm go back and watch the film, and I said, well, I'm glad we ran lead there, because they were bringing two guys off the edge, and so sometimes that stuff just we talked about the ball bouncing your way, and it was we're running inside ISO lead play, and they're bringing two guys off the edge, and we turn around and we decide we're going to run an outside play, and then they're trying to cram up the middle, and they were guessing wrong or we were guessing right, either way. But up front, our guys, our offensive line does a good job of handling those dudes that had their hand in the dirt on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen that. We've been able to get movement, and when we can get to that second level and come off and pick up those blocks, we've got backs that can make the cut. They're seeing the holes better the further we go along with the offense. They're starting to see where they got to make their cuts and how to play off of blocks, and it's just that progression. The process is starting to kind of come into play.
Seems to me, if you got a 2/3 chance of making the play positive, I'd take a 2/3 chance over anything else. And even if they guessed right, it just seemed like the strength of the offensive line just overwhelmed the Kennedy Rockets. And just looking at their sidelines, you got to kind of feel sorry for them in a way, because they no way had to have the numbers that Medina Valley has.
Right, and Kennedy and possibly Memorial next year, they with this realignment, they're probably going to be going down to 4A is what it looks like, and so it's one of those things. I've been on the other side of that ball, where when I worked at Lee High School, we were in 6A, but our numbers were based off of not just the enrollment at Lee, but at the STEM Academy and NISA and ISA, and none of those other kids at those magnet schools
matriculated into your program.
They didn't play football. They might get one, and so we played 6A football with 5A numbers, and it's tough. And you can typically hang with a team for about a half. But the depth kind of becomes an issue, and when you're having to play guys both ways, and and they had some of that. And
hats off though to Kennedy, because they didn't give up. Probably the last play when they got that last score, and I think they were a little bit satisfied once they got that. So hopefully they can have some confidence moving on. But after the game, Coach, I was down on the field, and we were watching the band do their thing after the game. We watched them for a little bit, and we spoke a little bit. It was nice to see the kids with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
That they were having a good time. They weren't hanging their head like they had been as of late. So it was good to see that. Did that kind of carry over in practice this week?
I wish I could say it did. That we kind of came back. We had a little bit of a heat wave come on. And yesterday was a rough one. Monday wasn't bad. I'll be honest. Execution at practice has been better than it ever has been. Our Mondays are typically days where kind of things you're sorting some stuff out. Monday was great. Things look good. We look sharp. Tuesday it was 90-something degrees.
It was
yesterday.
hot and humid. It was,
and they showed it. And it was a deal where I told them, I said, hey, we didn't win today, and we can't come out and have this kind of practice and expect to come out. It's a deal. It's we talk about working hard and people that got to go out and do this day in and day out, no matter what in life. And that's where we try to translate that over into athletics. It's like, you don't feel like being here, and I get it. It's hot, and but we got work to do. and we got to get it done. And, like I said, execution-wise, no problems. But the enthusiasm, especially yesterday, man, it looked like a bunch of melting ice cream cones out there.
Well, today I was hoping it turned around a little bit. Maybe,
it did,
huh?
yeah. It was much
With
better
the
today.
weather.
Of course, we got a little drizzle on us and everything else, so the ball was a little bit snotty. But, even with that, it was a better practice.
Talk a little bit about the role your special teams played in the game against Kennedy, because we saw, 2 block punts, and we had a lot of the ones that were involved in those plays were here last week.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how big that was for the team.
Special teams is a game changer, and so anytime you can get involved and really, when you talk about momentum and that type of thing, you think you're going to punt the ball away and it's you're going to flip the field, whatever, and then all of a sudden that thing's coming back the other direction. Of course, if you score on special teams, you don't ever account for that, but you're always trying, and so there can't be enough said about great special teams play. We say it's a third of the game. Even now, if you're not solid on special teams, you can't be solid all the time. And so those young sophomores, we if we're going to bring them up, we're going to play them somewhere. And we're always trying to find a way to get them in there. And Seth did a great job. It was a deal where in that situation we didn't necessarily ask him to go block the kick, but he did what he had to do, and he did it. And it's something else. So
Well, they sat here the other side of the table and they promised us a scoop and score, which that happened, and then we kind of said, well, we want y'all to throw in a pick six. Well, Tomaselli had 2 of them, and number 8 had 2 of them, and we were thinking they were right there. They were right there.
Well,
So them young men were playing.
I think we had one that ended up getting called back because of a penalty
Yes.
out of return. It was a blind. They've changed the rule on the blindside block where. And when you're coming back to block on somebody, when they're not suspecting it, you have to just kind of shield them like in basketball, where there's a screen instead of. But any time of it, if you lay into them too hard, they'll throw a flag. So
And that I call that the Hines Ward play because he made that famous for Pittsburgh, and I think that's why they started that rule, just because of him, the way he would crack back on people. It was brutal.
It's a good rule to have. I've seen some really devastating stuff happen to kids on sidelines that where it's just not pretty, and the safety of the game, I'm all for it. And so it's just something we got to learn.
Yep. Well, just one more question, Coach. And you've played in the games against Uvalde.
Mm-hmm.
Down there, it's just a different animal. It seems like you're not just playing the 11 people that are suited up in maroon. You're playing some of them that wear the black and the white. So do you kind of tell your coaches, hey, we may not be on the right side of some of these calls, but that tends to happen there. We just got to take it with a grain of salt and move on?
I tell my coaches the same thing I told the kids about that, and that's the officials that we use for our games are that come from the same chapter that we're going to use when we play on Friday. And I don't know if anything happens once they pass that Hondo city limit sign or something like that. Whatever happens, and we're going to keep the same philosophy that we always have. Those guys are going to do the best job that they can, and we're gonna focus on taking care of our business and the things that we can control, the things that we can change. They cram me in that little locker room. I remember being in that locker room it was the last game of the season, my senior year, and it ended favorably for us, but. I think we'll have a different result. But as long as we can take care of us and do our thing and not focus on those things that we can't help that. We're going to have bad plays. They're going to make bad calls, and let's just stay focused on the right thing, and we'll be all right.
Well, and if you take it the way the game was called last Friday, you didn't give them an opportunity to throw many flags. It was a clean game,
right? Yeah,
and it was it was something that you reiterated at the Sports for Supper the week before, that you got to overcome those mistakes, and they're fixable. Fix 90% of
I was going to say that progressively the penalties have gotten better. It's
Absolutely.
less and less,
Absolutely.
and the execution has gone up too. So it's going the right direction.
Yeah, that's part of that process of you focus on those things and you try to make it right, and it's like anything else. It's like learning to read or write or anything else. It takes a little bit, and you're going to make mistakes here and there, but you hopefully learn from those mistakes and don't continue. That's how I've stayed married, you know. Yeah, I made plenty of mistakes.
I thought
You hear that, Jared?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard
Just
it.
learn from them, you know.
I thought you stay married by saying yes, ma'am, and you walk away.
That
Yes, dear, and
doesn't hurt.
no.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us again. It's always
sir.
a pleasure to have you here, and good luck this week.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to
Yeah,
the game.
absolutely.
Yep. We're going to take a break, and then we've got some of the players going to be on here with us. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
All right.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network. Nobody can design, create, or maintain your lawn better than 3D Landscaping and Irrigation. With over 17 years of experience, owner Ray Doyen and his crew take pride in their craftsmanship and service. They're fully insured, offer free estimates, and multiple references, so you know you're getting the best. 3D does landscaping, lawn maintenance, irrigation, tree installation, lighting, and more. Whether it's residential or commercial, 3D Landscaping and Irrigation has you covered. Give 3D a call at 830-985-9115 or find us online at threedlandscaping.com.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com.
Buying a new house means a lot of decisions, starting with where are you going to get the best mortgage? At our bank, we offer competitive rates, flexible terms, expert-friendly advice, and without the long wait you get from one of those big city financials. Make your dream home a reality. Talk with us. We're an equal housing lender. Come home to Castroville State Bank. Member FDIC. Visit us online at CastrovilleStateBank.com.
Every time I get a check, it means a trip to the bank. Well, not anymore. With a new mobile deposit feature on my banking app, you just snap a picture of the check, tap a screen, and you're done. I call it Easy Chair Banking.
Come home to Castroville State Bank. Member FDIC. Visit us online at CastrovilleStateBank.com.
You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper. We got three of the players joining us here, and we're going to start down with Taylor Weir. And Taylor's going to be joining us for the third time this season. And Taylor, you're one of the linebackers, right?
Yes, sir.
You were part of that scoop and score in the ball game against Kennedy, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that play.
At first, I thought I was going to block it, but they had their personal protector. He picked me up, and then all I hear is this big slap, and I see Seth hit the ground, and I see the ball going. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to pick it up because, I can barely catch the ball as it is. So, so I was chasing the ball. The only thing going through my head was, oh, my God, I'm going to mess this up. And then I finally got it, and then went and celebrated with my team, and then ended up on the ground.
Kind of reminded me of the Rocky movie when he's trying to catch that chicken. You caught that chicken and you ran it in. You
Yes,
caught
sir.
that pigskin and you ran it in for a touchdown. So maybe that's why, you say you can't catch. Maybe that's why you're on the defensive side of the ball.
That is exactly why.
It ain't because you can't tackle, because we've seen that plenty of times.
Yeah, and the defensive part of that game pretty much shut out Kennedy, other than that kick return at the end.
Yes,
What was kind of the game plan going into that? What helped y'all to shut them down?
Our motivation was mainly we just wanted to win under our belt in district, and so we talked earlier this week as a team saying that if we get a win, things will start coming together, and that's exactly what happened. So we focused during practice and we worked as hard as we could.
How much of a satisfaction do you get when the first team defense goes out there and just dominates, and pretty much the second half you can watch your understudies who are learning from you go out there and do the same thing and pitch a shutout in the second half?
We were actually really proud. They've had some mistakes in previous games where they've done that and they would score in no time. But this week they actually made starters proud. I talked to him especially. I told him he did a good job. He did what he's supposed to do, and like as a starter, that just makes me happy that I have someone that if in case I get hurt, they can step up and do what they need to.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen already this year on a couple of positions where people get knocked out for a game or so, and someone has stepped up and done really well. Taylor, overall confidence of the team. You're coming off a big win. This is, and I talked to Coach Chris about a while ago. Last few weeks been hanging your head a little bit because you've had some tough losses. You come with a big win. How does the team? What's the confidence level of the team right now?
We've actually gotten closer, so I would say a lot. Like our heads are high, but they shouldn't be too high. I know Uvalde's one of the teams that we should beat, but we shouldn't take them lightly.
Yeah, because that's what Alamo Heights probably said too a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah.
So absolutely. So y'all got to at least know that can happen.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
what are the keys to your game that you need to take to Friday's game? What is your main goal? What are you going to try to do? Who are you keying on mostly?
But do we have
That's-
film on Uvalde? Did y'all watch?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you kind of know what to look for already.
They have their receiver and their running back. The running back, I remember him from last year. He was all right, but this year you could tell like he put in the work, and so he's fast and he can hit a hole pretty hard. So I would say he's our main threat as defense. But other than that, I think that's it.
Are they more run, more pass, 50-50? What are they like? What do they prefer?
I would say more run. Their run usually works, and then once it works, they go back to it. So it's constantly.
That seems like that plays into the strength of the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the run support has been really awesome all year.
Yeah, it has. And what you got anything else for him?
What other sports do you play?
I play soccer and track, or I run track.
What do you run in track?
Relays. Or I do high jump.
I got a question for you, Taylor. Who decides what uniform y'all are going to wear? Because there's different combinations. So I mean,
the big man back there.
Is that who makes the decisions back there? So in a away game, what do you want to see in a away game? What's your preference? All white?
All white.
Really? Was that not the black pants?
No black pants.
I like the all white. All away, yep.
Yep. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
All right, we'll move it down.
I'm Gia on the left guard.
And
You're senior this
you're
year,
senior,
right,
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
What's your number, Gio?
I'm 61.
61.
And talk to us a little bit about. So y'all saw kind of something unconventional defensively from Kennedy with a 3-3 defense, kind of.
I mean,
tell us a little bit about that, or preparing for that.
So previous to that, we had been running the previous game. What was it, Bernie Champ? They ran a 3-3 stack on us, so we were learning off of them. So it's going to be the same. They were telling us it's going to be the same thing as last week, so we already knew. We had already worked on it. So, and with the bye week, we also had worked 3-3 stacks as well. So we technically had 3 weeks in advance to prepare for Kennedy.
Which takes more preparation to work on the basic 4-man front or the 3-3 stack?
I think as an offense, we're used to seeing the 4-4 stack, and then so the 3-3 stack, we're like, okay, this is something new. Let's work with it. Let's get it done. Let's get it committed to memory. The different defenses. Who knows what they could run on Friday? They could change it up on us or run a 4-man front if they wanted to. I mean, we'll be prepared for it.
So on the 3-3 front, does that you're
Stack.
more likely to chip and move to the
Oh,
back
on the-
three or
So what I noticed on the 3-3 stack is like for pass plays or coverage, I'm usually open. So if a linebacker comes in, he'll be mine. I'll pick him up. Or like we'll be running a run play. I'll usually be going to the second level automatically. There's nothing in front of me. So.
and in the 4-man front it's different.
On the 4-man front, I usually have a guy head up on me.
Right over the top of you.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you prefer?
Oh, I like the 3-3 stack because I just get a straight shots at the linebackers.
Head of steam?
Yes, sir.
Unless he's stunting and going around, you got the linebacker in front of you?
Yeah, the way our offense is designed is like we play a zone. So like I'm gonna like say we run like 22 or 23. We have our steps that we take, and that will lead us to the person. So like say I'm taking a right foot step, if the guy the nose, if he leans my way, he's my guy. I'll pick him up. But if he doesn't, I go straight to linebacker. It's so I always have a certain role no matter the play, and I think it's really useful for our spread offense.
4th down, 1 yard to go on the goal line. We need a touchdown.
Oh,
What play do you want called?
Probably 4-hole play.
Is that
GT.
to your side?
GT, yeah. GT.
So who's going to hand the ball? Who's going to take the ball?
Well, so I'm gonna act as a lead blocker for. Oh, it's a read. Either Charlie will take it or he'll give it to James or Wesley. It's just depends on the read on the end man of the scrimmage. Because I'll pull around and I'll look straight for the linebacker. And if James is already on him, I'm gonna go to the next level and act as lead blocker for him.
So you're going to assume they're going to be right at your back, so you got to be full head of steam looking for
Mhm.
somebody, right?
Yes, sir.
Pass blocking, run blocking. What's it going to be for you?
I like run blocking.
Do you
Run
really?
blocking's fun. It's just funner actually.
Any pancakes this year yet?
Multiple. Multiple.
Multiple more coming, right?
You should see Spencer. You broke the record the other day for our pancakes at the school. He hit 17, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know we kept track of that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
There we go. Now
Hey,
we know.
you got to.
Yeah, now you know.
Analytics nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
jeez, don't get me started with that.
So, who gets more out of the game, you or your brother? Does he? I mean, he likes the defense,
Yeah, he likes.
and you like the offense. Has it always been that way?
I played defense with Taylor and my brother my sophomore and freshman year. So it was pretty fun, but I feel like offense is I play a better role with offense because I just feel like it's really worked with me so far. And I was picking it up my junior year, and I stepped up to the play after Yancey got hurt. He tore his patella.
That's right,
So,
yep.
And then I became the starter, and I was like, I need to step it up, and offense has just been the game from there.
So was it your decision, or did the coaches say, "Hey, Gio, we kind of need you on the
It
other
was-
side of the ball"?
Oh, there was a point in time like my sophomore year or something like that. I came over to linebacker drills, and I was fit. I was like 200 pounds, but let me tell you, they do so much cardio. I was dying. I was like, Coach, I'm gonna go back to line. I was doing.
You knew your role, huh?
Their airplane recall is no joke. There's no joke.
Well, that's why they fly around like they do.
Yeah, it's no joke.
And
go
they
hard.
do.
They go hard
Yeah.
too.
Absolutely.
They go hard.
You play any other sports?
I do powerlifting and I do track. I throw.
What's your favorite lift?
Uh,
Or your strongest lift? Which do you prefer?
Strongest would probably be
If
the
you need to
squat.
make up the weight, which one are you going to make up the weight on your opponent?
Well, so we'll usually find out where we need to be after squat. So probably deadlift is where I'll catch him. I'll catch him on deadlift.
That's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So you-
Deadlift, I finished. I think my last lift was 555, and I had hurt my hamstring. So this year I'm coming back stronger and healthier. So I want to go through the roof on this time.
Good.
So you do shot and disc?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I throw mainly disc. I
Mainly.
haven't done shot in a while.
Personal best?
I want to say 121. Not too.
Where do you need to be?
Farther than that, if I want to compete with Spencer and everybody else.
So you got to overcome a couple of teammates first, huh?
Yes, sir.
You can do it.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you, Gio.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for joining us here.
I appreciate it.
All right, and then we got one more here, and I believe this is your first time with us, right? This
Yes,
year?
sir.
All right, and if you'll give us your name, number, position, and what year you are in school.
I'm Jaron Rares. I'm a linebacker, number 53. I'm a senior. This is my first year being on a radio show. Yeah. But yeah.
Jaron, you're also on special teams, right?
No, sir. I'm
You don't.
not.
You don't do any special teams. I
No,
thought I'd
sir.
seen you out there.
I'm backup on kickoff and kickoff return.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so I know you're talking about, Taylor was talking about, you guys come in at the end of the game there. What's that like to be able to keep that shutout going, when they bring them in there, when they bring you in there?
Man, when it comes down to secondary, second strings, that's when we have to, just take them out. Our first defense is great. Our linebackers, we do a heck of a job, practice, working hard. And when it comes down to secondary coming in, it's just our time for us to just shut them down and let's get offense back on that field.
Are you always ready, though? If
Yes, sir.
somebody goes down, and it showed because you guys came in there in the second half, and it was no different than
Absolutely.
the starters being in there. You
Right.
guys were flying around.
Yeah, there was no
It-
difference.
It was fun to watch. What do you key on? What is your key going into this week's game? Who are you going to be looking for across the line? Are you going to be shadowing somebody, or what is your game plan?
Like what Taylor was saying earlier, number 21 and number 81, which is their running back and their receiver. Number 81, like Taylor says, athletic. He's a fast guy, but whenever he crosses my face, he's gonna be my key to where he doesn't get no yards and he ain't getting nothing during the game. Number 21, like Taylor was also saying, he's a fast running back. He likes to hit the hole hard, but whenever he comes through that gap, that's my job for it to, tackle him and get him no yards on the.
So you are also in pass support if 81 comes across the
Yes,
middle
sir.
or in short coverage?
Yes,
Is
sir.
he? Where does he basically run? Does he run the short routes? Because y'all both said he has speed. Is he more of a deep threat?
He's more of a deep threat, yes, sir.
So who do you turn him over to? Who is behind you that has his responsibility?
Dawson Grove, which is our safety.
Good.
Oh man! So are you keying off someone and knowing when the pass plays are, or what are you looking for to determine whether it's a run play or pass play, Jaron?
Who I usually key for is usually number 21 is what my key is, because that's their run threat. So any gap they come through, any gap he comes through, that's our job to hit him and make a tackle. But
what would you rather do? Decleat a running back coming up the middle or a wide receiver coming across the middle?
I'd rather go to the running back and hit him in the gap.
Little more fair fight.
A little more fair fight, yes sir.
There you go.
Good answer.
Yep. Do you play any other sports?
I play soccer and I want to do track this year.
Okay. What are you in soccer? Are you like on the defense? Are you
I'm
forward?
on offense. I'm a forward.
You're forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You play like in the middle, or y'all play like a two-man front?
I'm a forward. We actually run I believe it's a 5. Oh, not 5. I believe it's a 4-3-1.
Oh, okay.
And then we have our wings on the outside. But I play forward. That's my mainly position that I played since when I was used to play at the park, because I would just be fast, and whenever that ball's in front of me, I'm going after it. But soccer is what my main sport is. But I love football because football, I'm here with all my brothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taylor, all them.
So it's next man up for you. You're constantly you have to be ready, even if Taylor or Grant or one of those guys get winded. Are you the first man up?
No, sir. It just depends.
It depends?
Yes, sir. It depends what coach wants us to go in, because I also got Emmanuel and Eric Klessel, which is my other two linebackers I work with. So it just depends what Coach Mel wants out there. So if I need to do my job, if I need to go out there, I'm going to go out there.
Run support or pass support, which you prefer better?
I would say pass support.
Pass support, but you like to hit that running back in the hole too, though.
It's kind of 50-50.
There you go. I like that.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, guys, good luck this week against Uvalde, and hopefully we'll see y'all back in here sometime later on this season.
I appreciate
I got a question for Mr. Viofang.
Yes, sir.
Because we put the guys last week on the spot. How many pancake blocks you gonna have this week?
I want to set a personal goal of like maybe 7. I want 7.
7?
Yes,
Okay.
I want
Taylor? You gonna guarantee a
defensive
pick
score?
A defensive score?
Well, I can't catch, so
Scoop and score.
But you can scoop it up.
I will try and do a scoop and score. But I guess my goal would be more tackles than Grant this game.
There you go.
Y'all have a little competition with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Jaron, are you going to guarantee a scoop or score? Or are you going to guarantee a decleater from the running back coming up the middle?
I can't really guarantee anything. That ball's up in the air, that ball's on the ground. I'm going after.
You're going to do what it takes.
There you go.
There you go. I love it.
All right, guys. Well, good luck, and we'll talk to y'all another time this year. We're going to take a break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in just a moment.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
The pace of business is faster than ever. That's why when you need a business loan, you want a bank that can act fast. Not only do you get great rates and fast answers, you get the financial advice you need to keep your business growing. It's a better way to borrow. Stop by and let's talk. Come home to Castroville State Bank. Member FDIC. Visit us online at CastrovilleStateBank.com.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices. You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we're going to move on, and we have the girls basketball coach, Coach Russell, on joining us. Coach, thanks for joining us this season. We had you on last year, and you had a pretty successful season last year. Now, talk to us about kind of your goals going into this season, and what you have coming back for players, what you have coming up.
Can you give us a quick recap, Coach, of last year?
Yeah. We finished the overall 24-14. We were 12-4 overall in district. Exceeded my expectations. I was coming in hoping to win 15 games and trying to find a way to make the playoffs. And so it was an exciting year. We had a lot of individual accolades. We had Peyton Kennett was Defensive Player of the Year for the district. She also was All-Area San Antonio. Ileana Morales was a Newcomer of the Year. We had Addie Gunther, who was first-team All-District, and 2 second-team All-Districts in Kaylin Persine and Mackenzie Deacock. So we had a successful season, and with that comes a lot of individual awards as well. We have all 5 starters returning this season, with 9 returning on our team. So expectations are extremely high, which I kind of like to be the underdog. And so this is going to be a little bit different this year of, having a little bit more of a target on our back, because we did not have a target on our back last year at all. And I think this year people are going to give us their best game for sure.
Last year you kind of flew under the radar a little bit. Nobody expected the Panthers to come out like they did. And, Coach, I credit that to you and your philosophy because, I've known you when you were the coach before basketball, and Jared and I actually did the last playoff game that you coached. And that team compared to what you have coming up, is there any comparison in the team that you took to the playoffs in your previous coaching tenure compared to this one that's returning this year?
I definitely see a lot of comparisons. That team was extremely athletic. We had very good guard play, which I think is the case this year, and I think that we're solid at all 5 positions. I'm still waiting on that 6'3" girl to walk through the door. I haven't seen that in my tenure here at Medina Valley. We have hardworking kids that are athletic, and so I like to play fast. That's how I like to coach. But I think it's appropriate for the type of teams that I've had here as well. That's the strength of ours and the ability for us to do that. So I see a lot of similarities in some of those teams. We had a good 3-year run back then with some of those groups, and I see a lot of similarities with this team as well. Just I'm hoping this year that our ability to score improves. We've been really working hard offensively here in the offseason. It might have been the best defensive team that I've ever coached last year. We were very, very solid defensively, and we just got to get our offense to pick it up a little bit, and we'll be pretty tough to beat.
Well, the one thing I kind of noticed the years before, you had Carmen Maciel and you had the Mango girl that could get a rebound and put it up, and that was something that kind of was lacking a little bit last year. But it wasn't because the opportunities weren't there. The girls were fighting hard underneath. They just had a hard time. Seemed like that little putback was one of the reasons that we didn't go further in the playoffs because we had the opportunities in that ball game, we just couldn't finish.
Well, we averaged, I think, just a little over 50 points per game this last season, and our goal is to score well over 60 this year.
Wow!
And I think with that goal, it's like some of the things you just said. Some of those easy shots that we would miss last year, getting the rebound and missing putbacks and different things. It wasn't a lack of effort; it was just a lack of finishing. And so, we've really talked a lot this offseason about practicing like we play. And every coach says that, but trying to teach these kids you have another gear, and that's how we need to be in practice, so that when we get into a game situation, we understand that we've been practicing that way for months. We practiced that way yesterday, and so it's no different when we get to a game situation.
So what's the schedule like so far? I mean, you got a season upcoming. Have y'all been on the court yet? When does it start? When does the first game start?
So our first official practice will be a week from today. So the 23rd. We'll have our first scrimmage November 2nd, and that'll be against Highlands, Cornerstone. And then we open up, and I'll let you talk to the girls about this one. We open up against Kerrville-Tivy on November 8th.
Lovely.
So
I love it.
November 8th?
November 8th.
And that's right around the corner, isn't it?
They have made it to the state tournament the last 2 years. And so, yeah, I had some eyes get big when I told them about that, but we're not the same team that we were back when we were in that district. And so it'll be a good kind of good to see where we're at, in that game. Yeah. Being the first game of the season. But,
and you say official start, but these girls, it's kind of like everything else. They have the opportunity to play year-round, and y'all have open gym and stuff. How does that work? I mean, do they can just come in or?
Well, I tell you what was really neat this summer. For the first time ever, the UIL allowed us to work with our kids with a basketball. So I got 2 hours a week with these kids, and I want them to be kids as well, and so they went on vacation, did some things, but consistently through the summer I was able to actually coach them, and I've never been able to do that. And so that was a great opportunity to really work in more of a small group type of setting, like we talked about, really working on their shots and becoming a better offensive team.
Was it a good turnout?
I always want better, but it was – we had a good group every single time where we really were able to work. Last year, I felt like we just needed so bad to work on our skills. This year, I think what's going to get us over the hump of not just making the playoffs, but winning playoff games is what we do in the weight room. So we've really focused on our strength this year, and I really feel like it's been something that every kid's improved in, from point guard all the way to post play, that you get to those levels, everybody's as skilled as you are, who's going to be the strongest kid. And so we focused a lot on that in the offseason. That's something we're going to be more consistent continuing throughout the season.
Who is going to be the biggest challenge in district?
Harlan, without a doubt. Yeah.
And what do they impose that the other ones might not?
They're loaded, man. They were good last year. We probably should have beat them at our place last year. I think it's going to be, similar to the atmosphere that volleyball had last night. To where I think the volleyball game could have gone either way.
Yeah,
I really think it could have, and I think that we're going to have those same type of battles with them as we move into district play. And there's other good teams. There are good teams. I'm tell you what, we have some of the best coaches probably in the San Antonio area just within our district, and that makes it tough. I mean, we've really got to do a good job scouting, making sure that our kids are ready to play, because I know what I'm going up against. And Harlan's got Terry Barton, who was here at Medina Valley for years. He's a good friend of mine, and he can coach. And not only that, he's got talent. And so it's going to be a good battle for us, one that I think we'll be ready for. But, I think that they won district last year. They have their whole team back just like we do, and so it should be fun.
I know you talked earlier about how you like to coach fast and play fast, and we saw that last year. They run. Is that going to be kind of the goal this year too? Do you want to be the more conditioned team down the stretch and be able to kind of run them off the court at the end of a game?
Absolutely. And we talk about this. If there's a timeout, I don't care how tired the girls are, do not put your hands on your knees. Don't let the opponent look over at us and see our hands on our knees. But if we look on the other end and we see them just huffing and puffing, their hands are on their knees, we know we got them, and there'll be some different things. You have to evaluate yourself as a coach. I'm a man coach. We run man on defense the majority of the time. Well, you know what? With teams like Harlan, we're going to have to change things up. And so we're working on things right now, some different type of aggressive zones that we can run, maybe to change things up, that people have worked for a week against our man defense, working their man offenses, and we throw some things at them. And I think that's going to help us have more success. You know, the first half of district, we kind of ran through the first half of district last year, except against Harlan, they got us. Second half of district was a lot tougher because teams started to figure us out because, you know, they're going to run man against us. And that's our bread and butter, and we're going to continue doing that. But we need to have some things we can throw at them as well.
Yep.
And that showed in the playoff game, you know, after half, you came out with a different – on offense, it looked totally different. You were trying to utilize a couple of different more players. And – it was a basket or two difference in the ball game, and you know that's something that we've noticed, Coach, with you even in the stint before. You're willing to make a change at halftime if something isn't working. There's some coaches that get bullheaded and never change. That's not you. You see if something's not working, you try to go in there and you fix it.
You know, any opportunity I've had to visit with folks, whether that's in an interview or whatever it may be, and they try to tell you, well, what kind of coach are you? Well, show me my personnel, right? Show me the kids I'm going to have. Again, if you said 6'3" girls walk in the door, I'm going to run a 2-3 zone, and nobody's going to score on us, and we're going to pound the ball inside. Well, I hadn't been blessed with that yet, and so we're going to adjust by the type of kids we have. Of course, I like to play fast. If it's not working, you know, we go up against Harlan, they're as fast as we are. You know, they're as athletic as we are. So what's going to give in that game? You know, and it's hoping that as we go through the season, we scout them enough, we find maybe some weaknesses, though they're going to be hard to find, that we can go against and have some success.
Well, that's something that the other coaches got to look at your squad too, and say there's not many weaknesses. They're returning their whole team also, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
And you can bet, Coach, that the atmosphere at the games in basketball is going to be like the atmosphere was last night at the volleyball. That's one thing that Medina Valley does do. They follow their athletics and they support the teams down there on the court.
You know, it was funny last night. I worked the table at the game, and I looked over at the Harlan coach one time, and she yelled back at her assistant, "The kids cannot hear me on the court," because it was so loud in that gym, and our fans were so amazing. She was trying to coach, and she couldn't because they couldn't hear her. You know, and I mean that's what it's about. You know, that's home court advantage.
That's right.
Yeah, so November 8th, home or away?
November 8th is at Kerrville.
At Kerrville. Okay.
I tried to change it because we're playing Kerrville in football here, but the coach wouldn't change it, so we're going over there.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us here. It's always a pleasure having you on the show, and we look forward to the games this year, and good luck in the upcoming season.
Yeah, and hope to have you back, maybe
absolutely.
for playoffs or whatever.
Yes.
That'd be great, yeah.
Absolutely, and I think you brought a couple of players with you that are going to join us here in just a second, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll have them on. Coach, good luck this season, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
This is MVBN, Medina Valley Broadcast Network. Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle. Quality branded gas and diesel, snacks and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms.
Yeah, I do that too
Valley
when I see
Mart,
that. But I've got
family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Medina Electric Cooperative is sending 3 students on the trip of a lifetime for free. The 2020 Government in Action Youth Tour is an all-expenses-paid week-long learning and leadership event in June that starts in Austin and then takes kids to Washington, D.C. Winners also receive a $500 scholarship for college. The deadline is December 13th, 2019. Apply online at medinaec.org/youth tour.
Jazzler. Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we have a couple of the girls basketball players on here with us, and we'll start here. And if you'll give us your name, your number, your grade in school, and your position.
Okay, I'm Peyton Kinnett. I am number 5. I play a guard, and I'm number 5.
And you're number 5 twice.
Oh. I'm a senior. I'm so smart. I promise. I'm so smart. I promise.
And
yes, it means more.
Yeah, I remember watching the games last year. You know, y'all like to run a lot. Talk to us a little bit about that in your conditioning, having to run up and down the floor.
We
that.
started by actually doing like real conditioning, and then as we progressed, we slowly started playing more basketball and doing conditioning that way. And just like playing and running down the court and like throwing passes is what got us the most conditioned.
And talk to us a little bit about the defensive end. Y'all play man defense, but what is y'all's goal defensively? Like, are you trying to hold opponents under a certain point amount, or are you just trying to keep them off the board? What are some of your goals on defense?
So we've never like set a certain point goal to like hold anyone under. It's more been about like being really competitive and you wanting the ball and you wanting to get on your man and make sure they couldn't score. It's more like competitive within the team.
Okay.
How many years have you been on the varsity?
3 full years,
You
I
were
moved
up
freshman
when you were a
year,
freshman,
yeah.
correct? So do you think that experience being there that many years has been positive?
Oh, for sure. It builds so much confidence to be able to play multiple years in a row.
And talk about the confidence you have with your entire starting team returning this year from last year.
Oh, it's going to be so awesome. Everyone has been playing together for now over like a full year, so everyone really knows how each other plays. And knowing that we didn't really like lose that many people was really confidence boosting.
Yeah, because y'all had some freshmen that played key roles last year,
Yes.
right? Yeah, so y'all have a full season with them now and have gelled with them, I'm imagining, for this season.
Yeah, it's a really close group. We get
Okay.
along really good.
That's good.
Peyton, talk a little bit about you being the leader on the team. I mean, obviously you're one of the leaders. Do you embrace that, or do you not want that? Or talk a little bit about how you feel though.
At first, it was really hard because I'm not really like a talker. I kind of just like to be in my zone. But once you see like your team like struggling, it's really easy to fill the role and just talk them up.
Would you rather shoot a 3-pointer or drive to the basket?
Drive to the hoop. Drive to the hoop.
Offense or defense?
Defense.
Is that just because Coach Russell's sitting there that you say defense, or you really like defense better than the offensive side?
Oh, I way prefer defense because you can score with defense. You don't like offense. You can't like do defense and offense. Defense, you can play both.
You can get out on the run.
Yeah,
on
you
the
can
break
still
and
score
turn
by
it over.
playing
Yeah,
good defense.
absolutely. No, go ahead, guys. Y'all got anything?
What were your accolades last year? I know at the end of the
Oh,
season you
There
got
you
all
go.
kinds of awards. You want to talk a little bit about what? Yeah.
Oh, I hate talking about myself. But
Oh,
okay.
I mean, now's the time to do it. I mean, you definitely earned it.
I think I got defensive MVP of the district, which was really cool. I almost was first in 5A for steals eventually, but they started dropping. But it was really cool to get that award.
Well, you know now going into district or wherever we play, they're going to be looking out for you. I mean, you're on the scouting report. You look at that any differently now, or are you still going to move forward as how you've been playing this whole time?
I've never really been into like stats and like being like the highest or anything. I just like to get out there and play.
Tell us a little bit about the Tyvee game, first game of the season. What kind of?
I'm really excited because freshman and sophomore year we ended up playing them and we didn't do too good. So I'm excited to see how we play now and what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, first game of the year, no matter what happens, it's kind of you gauge yourself as where you are, but you're going to be a completely different team at the end of the season than what you usually start out with. So, regardless of what happens in that game, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the season, that's what's going to matter the most.
Yeah. Last year we didn't start too strong with our scrimmages, and then we ended really well.
And that's okay. I mean, it's not how you start; it's how you finish, and especially going into district play. So, good luck to you guys.
What are your goals? What are y'all's goals for this year?
we want to get first in the district and make it way past playoffs.
And to the state tournament.
Oh yeah.
That would be nice, right? then you get a rematch with Kerrville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, Peyton, thanks for joining us, and we'll pass the mic over to Addie. And if you'll give us your name, number, position, and your year in school.
Well, I'm a senior. I'm going to start with that because Peyton forgot it. But I'm...
What's your name?
I was going to... I'm Addie Ginther. I play post mostly and sometimes wing, and then I am number 30. Gotta enunciate. I am number 30.
Oh, you guys are having way too much fun.
And tell us what your expectations are for the season. Are they the same as Peyton's?
Same as Peyton's. We just want to get out there and have some fun, but I mean, if we win along the way, that's really cool too.
And talk to us a little bit about the upcoming matchup with Kerrville Tivy being the first game of the season.
I'm honestly to me it's gonna be really fun to see, like how she said, play from like going from freshman and sophomore year, like us being like, whoa, this is varsity. Because when we played them, they were like stacked with girls that were just amazing at basketball. But I'm glad to see how we've progressed over the years and like what we'll do against them.
How do you prepare for a game? Because just watching you through the years, you wear your emotions on your sleeve. You don't hold nothing back. You're 100%, 100 miles an hour all the time. How do you get prepared for that?
Mostly just listening to a lot of music before the game and just getting pumped up with my girls. Like we're goofy before the games, and sometimes that kind of makes Coach Russell mad because we're a little too goofy. But we usually get focused by the time the game starts, and I just like having like a good mentality before I go into the game.
Are you kind of the enforcer on the team?
I wouldn't really say so. I know I'm loud. And so, like, when the girls hear me talk about something, they're listening because they have no choice to.
It just seems like anytime there's a loose ball, you're the one going for it. And it seems like you always have something to say to the other
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, sometimes, they have something to say
sometimes
to me.
it's not. Sometimes it's not too nice, right?
Okay, the only time I ever say something is when they say something to me.
Hey, that's not a bad thing, Eddie.
No.
Don't take it as a bad thing.
I know.
I mean, that just shows that's passion right there.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
really,
passion.
The only thing I really like that gets me really mad is when another girl from an opposite team comes at one of our teammates. Like if that. Yeah, like I'm.
So you're gonna stick up for your teammates.
Yes,
is what it comes down to.
I almost beat up a girl from Uvalde last year because she kicked one of my teammates. So I really won, but we're not going to do that because none of us want a technical foul. We are not going to go out there and just expect to beat everyone up. That is not what we're about. Yeah, we're going to be classy. We're going to keep our emotions in check, hopefully.
So, Eddie, you've been on the team since
4 years.
you're a freshman.
Yes,
so
sir.
You've been playing for a lot of experience under your belt. Upcoming season, you're a senior. This is it.
Don't make me cry.
Butterflies, confidence. How do you go into this season?
I'm really excited. Like, I'm not really, like, nervous about it because I know, like, I got Peyton and my girls and, like, Amaya, like, the other senior that's going to be on the team. We get along really well with her, and we get along with all the girls. And I just think it's going to be really fun and probably really hard to, like, let it go and move on.
What would you consider your strongest point, offense or on the defensive side?
I honestly consider myself a stronger defensive player because, like, we don't have many big girls on our team. Like, I'm one of, like, the second biggest, like, in height-wise. And so when I have to be put up against, like, a girl that's probably, like, 6 foot and, like, this bigger, like, really big around, I have to just get on her. And that is, Mom.
But you're going to face that this year in district because
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple of teams that have
yeah.
some big bodies under there, and they're
That
hard to
doesn't-
move.
They're
that
strong.
doesn't scare me, though. It does not scare me. I like guarding those big girls.
Do you ever hear your mother hollering in the
Oh,
crowd?
yes, all the time. All the time. I mostly hear, rebound! That's what I mostly hear.
I know we didn't ask Peyton, but what else do you do in school? the other sports,
We
other
can ask her.
clubs?
Yeah, we can
No.
still ask her.
Other clubs?
I'm not really
All basketball, right? You're
all
focused?
basketball. Yes, sir.
Great. Peyton?
Peyton.
I run track.
She's fast.
And what events do you do in track?
I kind of bounce around, but I usually stick with relays. I just took up 300 hurdles, and I do long jump.
Like I said, fast.
Sounds painful.
Yep.
Like, why would you put yourself through that?
Well, girls, thanks for joining us. Good luck on the season upcoming, and we look forward to doing some of y'all's broadcasts and some of the games and seeing y'all play this year.
Y'all will have to join us during the year.
Yep.
Well, not join us, but
Yes.
Yeah. But, post-game
post-game
interview.
interviews.
Yep.
Stay goofy, okay?
Yes, sir. No problem with that.
And we'll take a quick break
Good luck
and
to you,
come
girls.
back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment. Well, we're back here at Sports for Supper. We had a little technical difficulty with our Jazzler show there for the commercials. We'll get that worked out. But we're going to stay right here, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the upcoming volleyball games. I'll let Dwayne give you what the schedule is coming up for them.
Yeah,
we'll talk a
absolutely.
little bit about the Uvalde game coming up, and then we'll go over some of our picks.
We'll definitely talk a little bit about volleyball. We know the season's already winding down. We are in the second round of district play. We have 4 games left. Eagle Pass on Friday, which we play at Eagle Pass. So that's going to be a tough one to make both football and volleyball, at least
Did
for
you
me.
go over the record yet?
Yes. Yes, he did.
He cheated again.
Oh, no, and then that's followed by next Tuesday against Somerset. That'll be at home, so if you want to join us for a home game, October 22nd. And then that'll be followed by a Friday night game, October 25th at Floresville. And then it finishes up Tuesday, October 29th against Southside, and that'll be Parents' Night. Now, as we look forward to playoffs, we want to start looking at District 27. District 27 is who we'll match up against. And right now, Alamo Heights is running away with that district. So,
and that was our first round opponent
That
last
we
year,
beat.
and we
that,
beat them.
that we beat. So
And in classic fashion, didn't it go to
was
5?
It went to 5 sets.
Was it 5?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
it was 5, and we won it in the 5th.
It was
yeah.
awesome.
So right now, the top 4 spots in District 27 are Alamo Heights, Jefferson, Burbank, and Brackenridge. And I believe that's the 4 we're looking at. The Max Preps didn't quite have it updated all the way, but I'm assuming those are the 4. So Alamo Heights, Jefferson, Burbank, Brackenridge. Based on this, who would play today would be Burbank. So we'll see that. That would be the first matchup. I think we've clinched a spot, so we can start looking a little bit forward. Of course, we don't want to.
Yeah, Southside lost last night.
Yeah, so we don't want to lose focus as what is immediately in front of us, but.
Well, you still want to finish with as high as you can
Absolutely.
in the district.
Yeah, I think if we get 2 more wins, I think we wrap up the second spot.
Yeah.
So they were really, I know y'all talked about this earlier, but Dwayne and I did the game last night, and, boy, I sure was impressed with our girls. They played hard, you know. Harlan was just a better team last night.
Last night they were.
They were tough last night.
Especially in that first set.
And I talked to the Harlan coach today. I had to go over to that school, and she had nothing but wonderful things to say about the girls and how hard they played, and also about our fans. She was really impressed.
Blackout night.
Yeah, she was really impressed, and she said that's just awesome atmosphere because she said, you know, when they go to 6A next year, they play all their games in the big stadium, big gyms.
Neutral sites, right?
And
the
it's
district.
neutral, yeah, and it's all neutral. You know, they play in the district gym and stuff, and they won't get those kinds of crowds. And so she said it was really neat for her girls to play in that type of atmosphere, and she really appreciated everything. And, you know, and whatever happens, you know, I hope we end up meeting them later on in the playoffs. That would mean that we're both going, you know, probably
Deep
to
in
the
the playoffs.
semifinals
Yeah,
or so
going deep in the playoffs.
of the regional semifinals. But they're a really good team. The Ayana girl, Dwayne, I found out today, she's committed to Kingsville. She's going to A&M Kingsville. And the other girl, the left-hander, is going to what did she tell me? Angelo State or something like that. So
You know, and as far as that goes on our side of the net, We had a commit this week. We talked a little bit about last night on the broadcast, but Megan Hahn is committed to Division I. She's going to play for South Dakota State University. She will be a fighting jackrabbit.
Jackrabbits, right?
So good for her. So
Awesome.
as of right now, we have 2 Division I girls playing, and I don't think that's over with yet. So
didn't her dad play cornerback for one of those schools up there?
Yeah, it was the arch rival of South Dakota
Oh,
State.
was it?
Yeah, it was South Dakota.
Oh, okay. I knew it was one of those. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
So it was arch rival, but yeah, he did play.
And I think
defensive
one
end.
of the reasons they looked over there because I think they have family in
Yes,
the area.
yeah, I talked to her dad the other day, and he said that his family's an hour away.
Yeah.
So
It's
she's
a
going to
good-
be
it's a
right there
good-
by her family,
it's a
and
good
she's
fit for
comfortable
Megan.
up there, and she's going to do a hell of a job. So
And we'll have some Jackrabbit shirt-wearing fans I know here. I know my daughter's going to get a shirt, too. She's excited about her friend going to South Dakota State.
Do y'all have any schedule coming up of when the next broadcast for the
hadn't
volleyball's
hadn't
gonna be?
looked that far ahead yet, Maury. Sorry, but I would assume it might be next Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to try to do Tuesday games. It's tough for me since I have a son playing football and a daughter playing volleyball. I want to try to make them both, and it's trying to hard to commit, but I can commit to the Tuesday games. So for you guys listening out there, we're tune in on Tuesday nights. We're going to try to have a few games coming up of the few that we have left.
And by the way, the coach complimented you as well.
Really?
She listened to the broadcast this morning. She watched the broadcast this morning, and she said, your guy does a real good job.
Well,
People don't realize
Yeah,
how
how hard it is.
How hard volleyball is. It's so quick moving, and just to be in tune with the action out there.
Well,
is kudos to you and what you do.
Yeah, because I mean, when you watch it, you can sit and watch volleyball all day long. I mean, the first one I did, you know how fast it moves, but until you have to talk with it, people don't realize how fast it really does move.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
that,
cheat.
that doesn't mean a raise either.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what helps me is that I cheat. I mean, my daughter grew up with that whole group, so I know their names. So it's easy. You can just look at them and
Exactly.
start spitting out
Yep.
names, and it's easy to keep up with. Otherwise, it's impossible to keep
I
up.
wouldn't say that's cheating. I'd say that's being prepared.
Yeah, that's how Maury and I are with softball. We
Yeah.
know the
Yeah,
girls.
absolutely.
You know, so
And we know the tendencies of what the coach is going to do, so we kind of can be a step ahead
Yeah.
a lot of times too.
well,
and not to
maybe
mention-
not so much in softball, but
Yeah, not to mention it's a lot of fun. You know,
Well,
it's
yeah.
fun doing it. It's a fast-paced game. It's a lot of fun to watch it. It's a lot of fun to broadcast it.
Well, I always say this when you start following a team, because I got thrown in when I was working for KCWM. I got thrown in a lot doing games that I wasn't familiar with Hondo and Dehennis, and not familiar with the players. The first broadcast, about the first quarter of any of them, is going to be the toughest because you're putting a face with the number that's on their jersey. And eventually you memorize the number and the name that goes with it, and that's
absolutely.
pretty much how it goes.
Especially when there stands out. Like last night against Harlan, there was a Garvin, there was a Jackson, there was a Gomez. They had some standout players. So it's easy to recognize them when they're doing really well.
Y'all talked about the two main gals from Harlan, but one new one that I don't remember from last year was number 7. Was she on the team last year? Because she played good.
Falala, yeah,
Falaha.
Falala, yeah, she's also committed somewhere. I don't remember where the coach said she was going, but she's going somewhere also.
I don't remember her as being that good.
No,
last
she was.
year.
You know what? And actually, they had a sophomore, the De Los Santos girl. Her mom's one of my PE teachers. She was good. I mean, number 2.
Well,
she did a good job.
hats off to Harlan. They've got a good
you know
team.
what? You know what they showed? They showed that they have the numbers of a 6A squad.
Exactly.
They were deeper than we were, and that's okay. I mean, you know, our girls should not in any way be disappointed in their performance last night.
Other than the first set, we hung in with them to the end. So I mean, it was a good match. 3-1 we lost 3-1. It looks bad on paper, but we hung in there the whole time, and we started out flat-footed, and we came back strong.
Well, and that last set, it was down to the wire. They'd get the 4
both
points
of them
ahead.
were.
We'd cut it to 2.
I think it was 25-20, and then it was 25-21. I mean, they were both.
I mean,
good.
it never got within 4 points difference. At one time, it was 5, but that was the most. And we just kept battling and battling and battling.
I went to the KSAT website last night since they were there. So I went, and they had the game, and that's how they saw it too. They saw it as a battle.
Yeah.
It was back and
he
forth.
did make a comment about the crowd.
He did.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it was.
Oh, that's great. So let's talk about the football game preview.
Yeah, we've got
Uvalde,
Uvalde.
man. Hey, I tell you what, this is not one of those games you can overlook.
No, not at all.
Neither one of these young men that were visiting us, Villafain, Weir, and
Jaron
Ramirez,
none of them said it's going to be easy. They all said it's one of those games that we should win, but we're not looking for. We're not looking past
Well,
it.
yeah, I mean, they beat Alamo Heights, which was a big surprise. But then Memorial beat them, so you're kind of looking at it going, well, what does everybody have? And you're going to play them down in the Honey Bowl, so it's kind of you go in there and –
And by the way, guys, y'all may be in the bleachers again broadcasting because I cannot get anybody to respond over at Uvalde.
And I tell you what, Uvalde is confident. They beat Animal Heights, and they think they can beat us.
I don't know how confident they're going to be.
They're
after
coming off
getting
a pretty good
pretty
shellacking.
good butt whooping over in Kerrville.
What was it, 49-0?
Yeah, it was. I think Kerrville put them back in their place. But you're right, Dwayne. When we were over there broadcasting that volleyball game, you know, they were giving our guys a hard time.
Yep, they let us know
the only victory we had at the
they
time was against Hondo.
Yeah, but our guys were letting them know too that they got beat by Memorial.
Yeah, that's a.
I think that happened that weekend.
Yeah, that did. That was a. It might have. I don't remember,
So
but
anyway, it's going to be a tough game, and you know, and I'm sorry I won't be there, but you guys have got it.
It'll be a tough game, but
We need to find us some electricity if we're going to be
And a
sitting
longer
in our own
it
gives
bleachers.
you a long extension cord.
Yeah.
Because we've looked for electricity before and
Yeah.
couldn't find any.
Y'all will be okay. We'll figure out something. I'm gonna call the high school if I have to. But
Yeah.
Get back to keys to the game. Coach Chris said, Jeff, that they run the 3-3 stack
I was listening
a lot,
Mhm.
and
Gap down, kick out, and we're going 99 and out the gate.
but you know, I look at it, and I said it before. I'd rather have 2/3 of a chance of being right than having to guess on every play.
Well, and I think if you come out and you play kind of like they did against Kennedy, you know, they executed very well. They played a pretty clean football game for the most part. They didn't turn the ball over.
That's the key right there,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I know more you asked, Coach, about that 3-3 stack defense. It's just an odd front. And what it just means that a couple of different guys are covered up on the offensive line. But Coach Crisp even said that they're going to bring pressure from different areas, and that's what a 3-3 stack does. So you just got to keep, as an offensive lineman, and especially like Villafain said, in the zone offense scheme, you got to take your step, you got to take your read, and keep your head up. And if somebody's coming, that's your guy to block.
Well, and something that we saw different that Medina Valley did pretty much the whole game is they stayed with a split backfield. They had Pardo and Gibson on each side of March,
which is exactly how they finished up the champion game 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, and I like that because it gives you the option of which way they're going to go. It gives you something else for them to key on instead of just Gibson in the backfield.
Absolutely.
And Pardo is very fast. He hits the hole hard, and he finally got a touchdown to stand
Let me tell you,
against Kennedy. Yeah.
Let me tell you, as an ex-linebacker and an ex-linebacker coach, and the hardest thing to read as a linebacker is a split back because you can't read the guy in front of you. You've got to read the guy across from you. You've got to read the quarterback. You've got to read the cylinder. It makes it tough on a defense when you've got a balanced offensive set. So if you can figure out how to put a two-back set in there and be balanced, it's tough on a defense.
Yeah, and Kennedy had fits with it all night, as we saw. And then, Marsh hooked up with a couple of receivers for some good pass plays. If it comes down to it, he can throw the football. But another big key is going to be that defense is just going to have to keep playing strong like they have all season.
Yeah, and we have a new weapon now. I mean, and it's slowly building up. Our new weapon is special teams. I mean, it's slowly building and getting bigger and better, and they're starting to make a difference in the games now. So
they're understanding their roles.
Yep, we're going to this game with a new weapon.
Yeah, excited for the remainder of the season, and I'm excited to listen to you guys on Friday night as we will be bringing you live the game.
Yep.
From the Honey Bowl.
It'll be a 7:30 kickoff. We'll be on the air 7:10, 7:15, right in that area to bring you that game, Maury and myself. And, we're excited for it. The team got back on their winning track, and as we talked before, they control their own destiny. The only team without a win in district right now is Kerrville-Tivy, as Lockhart got beat by Bernie Champion That was a close game until about halfway
Without a
through the
loss.
third quarter. Yeah, that's what I
without a
mean. They
loss.
with a
Yeah,
loss to
right.
champion.
Yeah, this district's going to go down to the last week.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and so they
you know
control
what?
their own
It
destiny.
it could go down to the last week for the district title. Kerrville's going to have to lose somewhere along the lines if that's going to happen. But you could be looking at Medina Valley versus Kerrville-Tivy for the district title at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
You never would have thunk it a couple weeks ago.
Let's get to some. Y'all want to do any fantasy, Maury? I know some
No.
people have been talking about fantasy.
We're gonna take a
No
break.
fantasy?
Nope, can't give
Take
out
a break,
no-
we'll come back.
can't
Yeah,
give
let's
out
take
no-
a break and
no
come back.
tips.
It's getting tight.
I had the Jazzler go crazy on me a while ago, so we'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in just a moment.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network. Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years. Nobody can design, create, or maintain your lawn better than 3D Landscaping and Irrigation. With over 17 years of experience, owner Ray Doyen and his crew take pride in their craftsmanship and service. They're fully insured, offer free estimates, and multiple references, so you know you're getting the best. 3D does landscaping, lawn maintenance, irrigation, tree installation, lighting, and more. Whether it's residential or commercial, 3D Landscaping and Irrigation has you covered. Give 3D a call at 830-985-9115 or find us online at threedlandscaping.com.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com. You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, as we are going to kind of move in, and I think Dwayne's got our picks from last week.
I tell you what, Jared, not good.
Rough.
None of us.
No,
none
I
of us-
know.
Nobody covered.
Nobody fared very well last week. Last week's numbers, I had a 5-3 record. Jeff had a 4-4 record. Jared 3-5, and Maury 3-5. So overall, So overall, I have it at 24-11 for me. Jared at 19-16. Jeff at 17-18, and Maury at 15-20.
Well, I know I should have won. I won the Tech game, and they got refereed on that one.
Yeah, I watched the second half of that game, and that snap was a little.
Well, before the
yeah.
snap, though, the defensive end got tackled in the end zone when they went down to tie the game.
That was a good game.
That
though.
should have been a safety.
Got your money's worth on that
Yeah,
game.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
for
it
sure.
was a good game. It was, you know what?
Did
it
it
was
three
fun.
Did you
overtimes
go to
or
the
two?
game? I know you talked
No,
about you might
I
go.
wanted to. I wanted to go, but I ended up sitting in my chair at
Was
the
that
house.
3 overtimes or 2? Did they
Two
win?
two
Did
overtimes, yeah.
All right, this week, TCU at Kansas State. TCU 3.5-point favorites.
man.
Kansas State, yeah, they've been playing good football.
I'm sorry, I'm going with TCU at
I
home.
am too.
I'm going with Little Manhattan.
Yeah.
Temple, SMU. SMU ranked 19th this week with a 6-0 record.
I was going to say they're still undefeated, right?
7.5 point favorite.
Temple's going to beat their third-ranked team in a
I was
row.
going to say Temple played somebody last week and beat them.
They beat Memphis.
Memphis, yeah.
Bad.
I got to take
What
Temple.
what's the point spread? on
7.5.
that?
7.5.
SMU.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
At
think
home.
Temple. I think that's a close game.
At home.
Yeah.
I think SMU's
I
got
think
way
it's
too
too
much
many
momentum.
points.
Way too much momentum for SMU. Number 18, Baylor, also at 6-0, taking on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State favored.
That's at Oklahoma State, right?
I'll take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm. You know, I was not impressed with the quarterback for Baylor.
No, that was his worst game of the season.
That was he did, and I think Tech exposed some things, and
because they had a chance to put them away, and he threw a pick in the end zone
yeah,
right at the end of
yeah,
that game.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma State myself.
I think Baylor bounces back on that one. Well, what's the spread on it?
3.5. Oklahoma State's favored over ranked Baylor.
They're at home.
I think Baylor.
So what does that mean, Maury? That means like Oklahoma State's really a 7-point favorite because they're at home.
No,
Isn't
that means
how
they're a half-point
They're a
favorite.
half-point dog.
Favorite. Home field usually gets 3 points.
Oh, 3? I thought it was 4.
So here's a
Sorry.
good game right here. Rice against UTSA.
UTSA's quarterback's out for the
Yep,
season.
and Rice is favored by 4. Rice has not won a game this year.
Oh, my
Rice
goodness.
is favored by 4.
God, how could you go against UTSA at home in the Dome?
I got to go with the Birds.
Yeah,
I'm
UTSA.
going
And the Dirty Birds.
I'm going with
the
UTSA.
not the Owls.
Yeah, I'm going with UTSA.
Yeah,
I'm taking
the
Rice.
Roadrunners.
You hear that, Mr. Mangle? I'm taking Rice. All right. Number 15, Texas, taking on Kansas.
15 points isn't
21 points.
Yeah. Oh, 21.
21.
Oh.
Kansas.
Wow. Yeah, I think, what's his name, Maury? The new coach over there at Kansas, Les Briles. He's going to have him fired up.
Briles? No,
Miles. He's going to have him fired up.
Oh, it's the Mad Hatter at Kansas?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And they upset somebody early in the year. I'm going to go with Kansas.
Yeah, I think Kansas keeps it under that point spread.
All right, I'll go with Texas. ATM machine.
Ole Miss.
Taking on Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
A&M favored by 6.5.
I watched that game last week against Alabama. Let me tell you, that quarterback for A&M is not good.
I got to still give the 6.5. It's Mississippi.
I don't care.
No hotty toddy this week.
I don't care. I got to go with Ole Miss.
Jared?
Where's that game at?
In Mississippi.
Ole Miss.
Starksville.
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
not
that's
Starksville. It's
Mississippi State.
It's what is Ole Miss?
Oxford. Yeah.
No, that's
That's
California.
California.
Yeah, no.
What is
Oxford.
Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah,
That's right,
I believe so. Okay, Iowa State 7.5-point favorites over Texas Tech.
Texas Tech's going to win that game straight up, boys.
No way.
Who are they playing?
Campbell ain't going to get
State.
out-coached.
Oh, no.
Not out-coached. He's going to get out-athleted.
Iowa State.
I'd take Iowa State in that game.
Ooh, 7 points. Boy, you guys.
All right, here we'll go away from Texas here, and we'll go into – there's only 2 games out there that have both ranked teams. So, number 16, Michigan, against number 7, Penn State.
State.
What's the line?
Ooh, you know what? I didn't write that down.
Line. Oh. Well.
As a Notre Dame fan, this will be the only time I say this, and I hope Michigan wins because Notre Dame has them next week. And But that's I don't think it's going to happen.
I think Harbaugh's going to be looking for a job. And,
yeah, I
that's
do
tough
too.
to say. They've only got 1 loss on the year. Michigan's only got 1 loss, but I think Harbaugh's fighting for his job each and every week. We're looking up the line right now.
Y'all stall while I look up the line here.
Is that game at the Big House?
No.
It's at Happy Valley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Either the Big House or Happy Valley. That's pretty good. Either one.
Yeah.
To have names like that.
Yeah.
The Big House or Happy Valley.
Well, Penn State, actually, that stadium holds more than Michigan, I
Yes,
believe,
it
right?
does.
Of course, I picked all of FBS. Now I got to go scroll through all of them. Here we go. Penn State, 8.5.
Oh, my.
That's
I'm still going to lay the lumber.
I think Michigan.
Penn
I
State.
got to go with Michigan on that.
Golly. I'm going to have to go with Michigan. 8.5's a lot of points. I mean, Penn State's been playing well, but I'm going to go with Michigan.
And the last one, I got to find that last one.
Who's Wisconsin playing this week?
So number 12,
their defense
Oregon.
has had 3 shutouts this year now.
Our last one is number 12, Oregon, against number 25, Washington. I don't have a clue on that one.
Oh, Oregon.
wow.
What's this? Well, you're looking
I'm
up the
looking
line.
it up. I didn't write those 2 down.
Where's it at?
At Washington, I think he said.
I believe it's at Washington.
Man, I don't know.
Oregon's been playing pretty decent.
Yeah,
though.
but so has Washington.
Yeah.
Pac-12's wide open.
Yeah.
God. I'll have to go with the home team.
Oregon,
Depending on the line.
Oregon 3-point favorites.
Oh, yeah, I'm going with Washington.
Washington.
I think Oregon.
Oregon
I'll
lost
take Oregon.
their leading tackler out for the season.
I'll take Washington also. All right, there you have it. We'll see what we have going on next week.
Who
We'll
does
meet again.
Texas State play this week? Open? I'll take Open.
You know what?
I can't believe that, Dwayne.
Yeah, that you didn't have them on there.
I even
Unless they're playing somebody ranked, and it's going to be a good old-fashioned
I almost
butt
wore
whooping.
maroon tonight.
I believe they're open this week.
Well, I'll take open.
Texas skate schedule.
Wow, this is a lot of dead air here.
Yeah, well,
everybody's looking at their phones.
Everyone's looking up for the
Yeah.
Texas State's football game this week.
Oh yeah,
It's very
And
important.
Texas, who does Texas play?
Well,
Did
Dwayne, you
we
ain't
did
got your
them.
season
we
tickets?
did that one.
Yeah.
I do, but not for. Don't. I think it's an opener.
Yeah,
Play
they-
Kansas.
They're open because
Who
their
did the
next
Ags
game.
lose to this week?
We picked it.
Did we?
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, we picked them
Mississippi.
too.
Okay. Yep, we picked them.
Yeah,
and
Bobcats
Texas.
are open.
Bobcats are open.
They don't play till October.
Yeah, they
26th.
play Arkansas
Well,
State.
the baseball plays this weekend against Weatherford.
Tell us a little bit about that. Who's going to be on the mound?
Tristan's going to get an inning.
One inning.
He'll get an inning Saturday, and he'll get an inning next Sunday at TCU. So if anybody's in Fort Worth next Sunday, Tristan will be on
So
the bump.
Weatherford's where? Home or away?
It's at San Marcos Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep. So we'll head over
Well,
to San
good luck
Marcos
to
and watch
Tristan.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Good luck to them, and hopefully the Astros can take care of business tomorrow and
Absolutely,
Friday.
boy. This rain came at a good time for them.
Yeah, it did. That was supposed to be a bullpen game tonight.
For both
which
teams.
Yeah, for both
And I
teams.
like the Yankees bullpen over the Astros bullpen.
Well, the funny thing is, though, is I like that the Yankees have had to use their bullpen a lot.
Yeah.
Houston's
But-
had gotten to see them.
But you know what I also see is, you remember the lefty for the Yankees? They activated him this week. He is eligible. What's his name? Big boy.
Sabathia?
Yeah.
Well, he pitched an inning in that game that
Oh, did
Correa
he?
hit the walk-off inning.
Yeah,
he pitched,
well, I
or
would
he pitched,
assume-
he pitched one out. He pitched a third of an inning.
I would assume they would almost start him, because 2 years ago he gave the Astros fits.
He gave him a good game in Game 3 of that series. He
So-
shut him down in
and
that.
they
but-
still no, they're not doing that. They've already named somebody else as a starter.
Yeah, they're starting Tanaka tomorrow against Greinke, and then they're starting
same kind of rotation.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Verlander against
Verlander's after
Paxton.
that.
Here we go. I hope Verlander and
and-
I hope they can get the win.
Well, and
tomorrow.
AJ Hinch is throwing all his cards on the table, because if that ends up going to a Game 7,
he has nobody left.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what you got to
What
do,
you
though.
mean you don't have anybody left?
Well, starters,
Well,
because he didn't put their
He
fourth
did-
starter on the
Oh,
roster.
he'll have Cole.
He'll have
coming
Cole.
back
He'll
for
have
Game
Cole for
7.
7, but he won't have anyone for 6. Yeah, because of the date.
He'll have Verlander for 6.
No, he's on 3 days rest. Verlander's starting Game 5 tomorrow or on Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, he is. He's already been
Yeah,
named
he named him.
because they're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday now.
Oh wow! I
Oh,
don't know.
they are.
Yeah.
4 day. Oh, because they
Oh,
took
Because
the travel day.
today was the
Oh,
rain
yeah.
out, so they
So they
moved.
took the travel day
They took
away.
the travel day
I
away.
would tell you what he needs to do is he needs to do a bullpen by committee and save Greinke, Verlander, and
Cole for the end.
for 5, 6, and 7.
But yeah, but he's already named Greinke the starter tomorrow.
Well, that's
So
why
in the
he should get
meantime,
fired.
the Nationals are just watching.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Get their timing off.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I actually thought St. Louis would put up more of a fight,
I thought
but
so,
but
too.
Washington's probably the only team in baseball that can match starter for starter with what Houston has.
Absolutely.
With-
Strasburg is their number 3.
Yeah, Scherzer and Sanchez. And
Wow.
Sanchez took a
He struck out
no-hitter into the
12.
8th inning in one of
Yeah,
those games.
Strasburg-
Both of them did.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that's
yeah.
gonna be tough.
Yep. But I'd like to remind everybody that tune in on Friday night to Medina Valley against Uvalde. That game is at the Honey Bowl in Uvalde. We'll be on the air at 7:30. Or actually, kickoff is at 7:30.
Hey, update.
Go ahead.
Coach Gonzalez from Uvalde just emailed me and said he will meet with our guys tomorrow to find a place for you.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah.
And
Jared,
so,
I want to say good luck to the cross country team
yeah,
tomorrow morning.
yeah, and their district
Their
meet.
district meet at home.
And, yeah, good luck to them. Good luck to volleyball on Friday night. And good luck to the Panthers on Friday. But we'll be there live, 7:30 kickoff, 7:10 airtime, 7:10, 7:15 we'll be on the air from the Honey Bowl. For Jeff, Maury, and Dwayne, I'm Jared Lucky saying good night, God bless, and we'll see you